Hey everyone, this is Big John McKenzie, aka the LumberMack, aka Mac, and you are drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody. Want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' at Moe's be a brand ambassador. They encourage everybody to break out of that comfort zone, live their best self, which, hey, that's what got me starting the podcast. But they got great clothing, great apparel, t-shirts, hoodies, beanies, hats, all that good stuff. Be sure link will be in the description, and use the code Drinkin' at Moe's to get 10% off your order. Let's fucking
All right,
go.
everybody. Welcome to Drinking Moe's. Big Mo here. You know the drill by now. But if you haven't been with me before, like, subscribe, share, comment, YouTube, all that good stuff, because it helps with that pain in the ass algorithm. We're in most places you can find audio podcasts too, so leave a review there because it helps me out there too. But today I'm excited to have with me because I haven't had too many people local to me on lately. So I'm having on, getting ready for a big show coming up here as of recording exactly a week from tonight. This will be out after, but the big man himself, Mac, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, everyone? I am doing fantastic on this Friday. And like you mentioned, in Omaha at the Firefighters Hall Union, what is that, the 29th?
29th.
It'll be over the top. Magnum presents.
Oh, yeah.
Almost sold out, so get your tickets now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is damn near sold out. You know, pretty stacked card. I do enjoy those over-the-top rope battle royal matches, those kind of Royal Rumble style shows, because growing up, that was always one of my favorite shows to go to, like the video rental stores where they had the wrestling section, and I'd always start looking for the Royal Rumbles.
What was your favorite Rumble? What year?
Oh, God, I am trying to even remember. You know what? In my defense, I sometimes have trouble even remembering what I had for lunch. But I seem to remember one where Andre the Giant got scared by I wanted to say Jake the Snake, and he had a snake in there, and Andre was just like, "Oh, fuck that, nope." My mind might be playing tricks on me, but I seem to remember that happening.
Probably late 80s, early 90s.
Somewhere in there, yeah. But yeah, I just remember Andre being like, "Yep, nope."
So I can't blame him.
Oh, I can't say that I do either. I'm not scared of a lot of animals. Like, hell, I love alligators. A lot of people are scared of them. I love them. But snakes, that's one big, like, my wife has joked with me about getting a snake before. I'm like, as long as I'm not touching the damn thing, I don't care.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
But, oh, God. I'm like Indiana Jones on that. Don't like the snakes.
That's such a great movie. Yeah.
I've still yet to see the new one.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully it's out on digital soon.
Yeah, I believe it's on digital because I know a friend of mine has it on some server that he gave me the access to, so I could watch it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet.
This is the best wrestling interview, by the way, that I've had so far. Talking about Indiana Jones,
yeah, we kind of got off track there.
Little bit of a tangent.
A little bit of a tangent. It happens, but getting back on the wrestling track. First wrestling related question I usually like to ask everybody is what got you started as a fan? And then what got you started finally deciding to make the leap into the business?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't want to give my age away or anything, but growing up during the Attitude Era, that's really what got me into wrestling.
Nope, I can.
Kane, Undertaker, nope. Triple H, The Rock, Stone Cold, some of the best quality work of all time. Just
oh yeah, nope. Stone Cold to this day, one of my absolute favorites. I have quite a few of his figures back here behind me. One of the only people I don't get starstruck too easily, but he's one that I've joked about it, but I'm serious. I don't. If I ever actually got to meet him, I don't know if I'd be able to get a word out.
What?
I know, right?
What?
Really? Use your words, kid.
Well, hell, son, it ain't rocket science.
Yeah. And then, finally deciding to make the leap in when like can you like nail down a period where it's like, yep, I'm doing
that? Yeah, it was about 2018. I was working with this cat. Your audience may know him, Nicky Cent. We worked at the same job, and he told me that he started doing wrestling school, and it's like, there's wrestling schools in Omaha. I had no idea there was wrestling in Omaha. Besides, Raw or SmackDown coming to town. So I was like, oh, this is cool. I'll come watch you one of these days. And I went to his first show.
You know what? I was probably right there along with you.
It was, God, it was Sokol. It was, it was at the old Sokol Auditorium. What's up, Tucker?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, those. I was just going to say those that end up watching if those that aren't from the Omaha area, Sokol Auditorium, I believe they call it the Admiral now or whatever the hell, but
it is the Admiral,
yeah. Absolute historic venue in town, has held quite a few great wrestling shows. Some outstanding talent have gone through there, including as of yesterday, and now again released WWE talent Shelton Benjamin went through there.
That's right. He wrestled Fowler.
Yep, I was at that one. But yeah, like you, before before I left for the Navy, I didn't really know anything about independent wrestling, especially in the Omaha area. But when I was in the Navy, I got introduced to independent wrestling down in Southern California, and that's actually where I met Jason Strife, former
God rest his soul.
Oh, God rest his soul, definitely the guy that used to run Magnum, and he told me about running a show up here. So when I came back, which was probably less than a year after that, I was like, you know what? I'm going to look this stuff up. And boom, here I am now.
Right. Now we're into this crazy world together.
Oh, yeah. And, we talked a little bit about the show coming up, Over the Top, big Royal Rumble type show. But there's also some other big matches going on. But you have recently come out as declaring yourself for the Over the Top match. Now, I've, watching as many of those types of shows as I have, the big men, you'd think would have an advantage. But then it seems like when they get into the match, it's like, boom, that's just a target on them. Like everybody's like, oh, the big guy is going to be the big issue for everybody. So let's
Right.
all gang
Everyone
up on
usually
him.
gets up on the bigger talents. It's just smarter.
It is a smart move.
Yeah.
But what do you plan to do to make that a little different for yourself during this match?
Like I was saying during my promo, is I'm going to do what I do best, Mo. I'm going to chop everyone down and just be the big bad man I can be.
And that you can be, because people in the area might know that you in the ring, you definitely can have a bit of a mean streak, because you have, under the previous tutelage of another former guest of the show, Joe DeSanti, and
God.
he,
Ugh.
yeah, no, I'm with you there. He's a bit of a, well, I don't want to seem like I'm insulting another former great manager out there that had gone by this nickname, but the Weasel, Bobby Heenan. But Joe DeSanti, very much a bit of a Weasley character.
Big time Weasel.
Yeah. And, you've been able to break away from that. And, you've definitely become a bit of a fan favorite in the Magnum audiences, bringing out that axe and, letting somebody, kind of a little bit of a Bret Hart-esque thing with the axe, with,
I give it to a young fan. I asked them to hold on to it for me during the match. As much as we're all marks in this business, we truly do like to put a smile on people's faces. So anytime I get a chance, to connect with someone just personally one-on-one, I'll take it every time.
Oh yeah, most definitely. And thinking back on, well, the term mark, it's had a bit of a negative connotation to it throughout the years. But then, getting the thing about it, everybody getting into the pro wrestling business has been a mark for somebody.
Yeah, I don't
Whether
know.
it just be pro wrestling in general, a certain character, they're just being a fan of it.
Yeah, me and the boys can go on for hours just talking about our favorite wrestlers and just all the matches that we watch during the week.
Oh yeah, the past couple of weeks alone, including this week, had been some pretty big weeks for wrestling. I know it's kind of hard to keep up with everything, but I keep up with as much of it as I can.
How many hours do you think you watch wrestling a week?
Oh God, oh boy, that's a hard one. I usually make it through the vast majority of Raw.
That's 3 hours.
I might catch a little bit of NXT, not the whole thing. So that's about maybe at least an hour there.
Okay, we're up to 4.
Catch all of Dynamite.
That's 2 more.
I catch Impact, so that's another probably about 2-ish. And between SmackDown and Rampage, another 3, and then hell yeah, Collision in there. Holy crap. Wow. You know what? I hadn't really even thought of, trying to do the math in my head of that until now. It's
That's
like holy
15
crap.
hours.
Yeah. And then you think, on the weekends, with apps like IWTV or Fight, or there's Pro Wrestling TV out there, and all the promotions out there doing shows on those, and good grief. Yeah. I didn't, like I said, I didn't even realize how much I even watched until just now. I'm like, God dang, I do watch a lot.
You're welcome,
But
audience.
but yeah, no, like the past week, AEW had their big Grand Slam show and uh, led off with a bang with, Eddie Kingston becoming Ring of Honor champion on top of the New Japan Strong Openweight champion. So I was happy about that one. Big Eddie Kingston fan. So, you know what? We talked some about Magnum, but you don't just show up at Magnum. I've seen you showing up at promotion up in North Dakota, Below Zero Wrestling, which I'm happy that North Dakota wrestling has kind of bounced back, because there was a promotion up there for a while, ran by a couple friends of mine, that was known as Fully Loaded Wrestling, that
Them.
I actually got to go to a show up there once in Fargo, I believe it was. And what's it like up there for you with Below Zero? Because I've recently, actually just today, released a interview episode with a title holder up there, Gino Rivera.
Oh yeah, I've been in a locker room with Gino a couple times. He's a cocky little guy, huh?
he definitely had that little bit of a cocky attitude with him. But you know what? Especially when like you are running promotions and running your in-ring career, you kind of sometimes have to maybe be a little bit cocky and really believing in yourself, because I mean, you're the one having to go out there and putting yourself out there, trying to get the bookings and making people believe in you. And if you're not believing in yourself, the crowd ain't gonna believe in you.
Right. No, he's definitely not lacking in confidence.
But what's it been up there like? Well, words are hard. What's it been like up there for you?
Well, to start off, I want to let everyone know that Nick and Zach are wonderful guys, and they run a really great show, and they're doing real big things. I mean, they
I've
started
seen.
with nothing, and they've gotten thousands and thousands of views on YouTube, and keep expanding all through North Dakota and into Minnesota. So it's great working with those guys.
Oh, I can imagine. And you bring up some of the big stuff that they've been up to. I mean, I'm trying to remember who all was on this card
Is
that I saw
Sellers
advertised.
wrestling Johnny Nitro tomorrow?
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of, because I remember I recently ran into him at Sammy Callahan's promotion, Revolver, in Des Moines. Got to chat with him a little there. Actually, one of my autograph figures up there is of one of his, so that was pretty cool. So that'll be a good match up there for sure.
It will be a good test for Fowler.
Yeah, I mean, hell, he's getting tested all over the place. Going back to Magnum, one of the match that he's in there, going up against two former WWE stars in Tyler Breeze and, well, current NWA World's Heavyweight Champion EC3. That's going to be one hell of a test there in and of itself.
Yep, I will definitely be peeking through the curtains during that one.
Yeah, my eyes are going to be glued to the ring during that one for sure.
Yeah.
And, one that another match there that I can't help but want to talk about this one, because me being as good friends with, Duke and Joey that I have never, before that night, I will have never have been to a cage match. I have not seen a cage match live.
One, yeah.
That will be my first. And I am looking forward to that. Like the whole show I'm looking forward to, but that match in particular, I'm like, oh God, can I get to it already?
It is going to be special. That match alone will be worth the ticket. Well, and you're getting EC3 and Tyler Breeze coming to Omaha. You'd be crazy not to buy a ticket.
that is for sure. And thinking that they've talked about some surprises during the over the top match. Be interesting to see who pops up there. And you know what, Magnum, they actually have a match, a show coming up not too long after that. A Friday the 13th show in October. That's gonna be interesting. I haven't heard too much getting talked about with regards to that show, but I get it. You're trying to concentrate on the one coming up in a week.
Yeah, this is our mania. We're just focused on this one right now.
That understandable. But they got some interesting stuff I've heard planned. I know some stuff extra to the wrestling show that's going to be a little extra treat for the fans in attendance.
All right, yes. Do you want to go ahead and tell everyone, or do you want me to?
We can go ahead and tell everybody.
So yeah, after wrestling, there's going to be a movie presentation projected outside at Rathskeller, and it's going to be Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies, which I haven't seen, and I am looking forward to this wholeheartedly, honestly.
That'll be interesting. Like, I've been curious about that movie, have not seen it, but definitely looking forward to that.
Yep, that is going to be some fun times there.
Oh yeah. Now, one thing I wanted to ask you, thinking, going through some of the shows coming up after that, what's next for Mac?
I don't really like to put the cart before the horse, so my focus is I'm going to Illinois tomorrow to wrestle for Homegrown. My focus is there, but my ultimate goal is, over the top in that Rumble to be the last one standing, become the new number one contender for the Magnum Championship.
Keeping your eye on the prize. I can respect that. Definitely respect that. Well, I got two categories here that I like to round stuff off with. One's a bit of a name game where I try to theme it towards the guest as much as possible. And with you being, pretty tall, big guy, I figured we're going to go over some of the historic big men in professional wrestling.
Oh boy, we're about to get speed, aren't we?
I name off some people. You give me quick thoughts on the person when you hear them.
Yeah.
First one, a guy that I think definitely one of the best big men out there. He, two-time Hall of Famer, Kevin Nash.
My inspiration pretty early for my career.
I was going to say.
I would say that Kevin Nash is the most charismatic big man of all time. He's just cool. Just everything he did was cool.
Oh yeah, going from where he was with Diesel, and then being one of the founders and leaders of the NWO and everything he did with WCW, and then heck, even going into total nonstop action and stuff he did with the Main Event Mafia over there. Very charismatic guy. Definitely. Now, next one, a guy that I've actually had the pleasure of meeting once. One of my autograph figures up there is of him, the Murder Hawk Lance Archer.
Dream opponent.
Oh yeah, that would be good.
How would I describe Lance Archer? Just everything he does is violent and with purpose. I've watched his matches just to pick up some things, but that man's intensity is unmatched.
Oh, most definitely. I had the pleasure of getting to meet him at Warrior Wrestling when they were in St. Louis a little over a year ago. I got invited to be a part of the Fan Fest, and he was in, I want to say it was technically a three-way match. I might be wrong. My memory might be playing tricks on me. But he literally, I want to say it was, Myron Reed was one of the other ones in the match, but he literally picked up one guy and chokeslammed him onto the other while he was holding the other guy. And I'm just like, I got a clip of it somewhere on my YouTube channel, and it's just like, oh God, my body hurts watching it.
Right.
Another guy slightly shorter than a couple of the others, but still a pretty big dude, pretty intimidating from what I hear. Very well respected guy, The Undertaker.
The absolute best character in WWE history. And for a big man standpoint, I think I would consider him my number one of best big man of all time. Just best striker, best storyteller, best everything. Just the Mount Rushmore of WWE.
Oh, yeah, hands down. I don't think there's any argument behind that. Argument against that, I mean. And, thinking back, I don't think anybody else could have pulled off that character than the guy behind it there. That was a once in a lifetime thing. You aren't going to get another one.
Right.
Last but not least, this guy's still going strong. I'm kind of digging what he's doing in AEW right now with Ricky Starks, but Big Bill.
That was the former Cass, right?
Former Cass, yep.
Just a guy who just keeps getting better and better as the years go on.
No, yeah.
Charismatic, just great promo.
Definitely. And I love, like, right now, he's on a bit of a redemption story, because after he got out or got released by WWE, he ran into, some issues, some addiction issues and stuff, but he's bouncing back, and he's having a lot of great success there in AEW right now. And it's great to see that, somebody bouncing back from that, when you see so many stories of people not being able to get it under control, and worst case scenario ends up happening with him. It's glad to see that didn't happen with him.
That's everything you said. Yeah, I agree. It's good to see him get back into a major promotion after, him having his issues with WWE.
Yep. I mean, he was doing pretty great things with Impact, and then jumping in there with, AEW, Ring of Honor, kind of same thing. They're owned by the same person, but he's doing great things, and, wish him all the continued success. Now, I have some random questions. Some might be wrestling related, some might not be. You give me the first answer that pops into your head when you hear the question.
Got it.
First one of the only ones that I generally keep in here because I love hearing the stories. Craziest in-match moment for you?
Oh, I don't know if I should tell you this one.
I've heard some crazy ones from a story with involving New Jack where they end up both going through a wall and Paul Heyman yelling at them to, people bridging glass on top of folding chairs and then lighting the glass on fire.
That sounds actually pretty cool. Mine's just more embarrassing than anything. All right, what the hell? So I'd say this was about June of 2021. I was sick for 3 days previously to a show. Just kept, having to go to the bathroom over and over and over again. I was, does this suck? Am I going to be able to wrestle? And Saturday came, that show day, and I was like, yeah, I feel great right now. I feel fine. I'm ready to go. So we get into the match. Everything's going according to plan. Getting some good heat on. And then I get him into the ropes. I whip him off, set him up for a sidewalk slam, go down, and then I crap myself. I was like, as soon as I landed, I could feel it instantly. It's just gross. And I was like, yeah, we got to go home, brother. We got to go home.
Funny thing, I was actually just watching a video last night of, believe it was John Cena talking to whatever one of the Bellas he was dating at the time, who was giving Natalia crap about peeing herself once.
Yeah.
And then he ends up telling a story about a time that he shit himself in a match that was kind of similar to the story that you just ended up telling, where it was, he wasn't feeling good. He goes out there to still wrestle, and then it happened.
All right. Well, I'm similar to the GOAT in one aspect, at least. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now, non-wrestling related one here. Lots of people have different phobias. We kind of talked a little bit about a fictional character that one of his famous phobias being snakes. What would you say is a phobia you have, if any?
I say I have a phobia of heights.
Okay, understandable. I can find that understandable.
And I'm not great in tight, box in claustrophobia, I guess. Yeah.
I think I've had a mild case of that, developed on my deployment. Big crowded places that are kind of enclosed in. I try to find my first way out of there. And I know for myself, people might find this weird coming from a Navy veteran. I don't want to be in open water, like in the water, where it's like you look around and it's just water everywhere around you, no land. Like I don't like that idea of not knowing what's beneath me.
Oh, yeah. No, that sounds terrifying. I'm not much of a fan of water, so I don't know how you did it.
I mean,
I
the
shower
way
perfectly fine. I was talking about the ocean.
but the way that I kind of justified it to myself, because I had to be outside a few times where all I could see is water all the way around me. But I'm like, you know what? I'm on my ship. I'm not in the water. I'll be fine.
Right.
But like, I get the image in my head. Like, you see the poster for the movie, the Meg, the Jason Statham movie about the big ass shark, and where it's like this image of a big ass shark coming up from
Right.
and like I have that image in my head of that happening to me, and I'm like, yeah, nope, I don't want it.
Yeah. Do not want.
Not one bit. Now, this is another question that I have that I like to keep in here, because I feel with the name of a show like Drinking at Moe's that I would feel weird if I didn't have this one in here. Favorite drink, whether it be alcoholic or non, or one of each, because I've had plenty of people on that for one reason or another don't drink, so I try to be respectful of that.
Yeah, I do not have that problem. I'm a whiskey man myself, but I'm drinking my favorite drink right now, Miller High Life.
Okay. My favorite beer that I actually just ran out of, one of my favorite beers, Coors Banquet. I do enjoy me a Coors Banquet every now and
Tasting
then.
the mountains.
That or Kona Big Wave. I do still have some of that up there. I do enjoy that. I got hooked on it when I was actually down in Hawaii once.
So that's your imported beer choice?
That or Dos Equis.
Ever try that Modelo?
I have. That it's good.
Yeah, that may be my one or two. Corona being number two or one.
Yeah, I my only thing with Corona, I'll drink it, but the one time my ship in the Navy was in Mexico, you go to the different restaurants, and if you try to order, it seemed like if you try to order Corona, that every place would say they didn't have it. They try to give you see if you would take Dos Equis, and it was like the only place that had Corona were like the little corner convenience stores.
Yeah. Oh, as long as
because it was weird.
Yeah. Oh, as long as you give me. Hey, actually, I got a question for you. What's the best kind of beer?
Oh God, an open one.
I was gonna say a free one.
Open free one. Shit, put a beer in my hand. I'll drink it.
I'll cheers to that.
Yeah. The only bad beer is an empty one.
Oh yeah.
Definitely. Now, I've got one of my hobbies kind of displayed back here. I'm rather proud of some of my stuff. Not as big of a collection as some people out there, but I'm proud of it. You have any hobbies?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot. Most of my life's been about. Yeah, I'm a big football guy. I'll watch football for 10 hours every Saturday and Sunday.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah, that. Like to get into some comic book stuff.
Okay.
Don't call me a nerd.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm a big Ninja Turtle guy. I actually, not all that long ago, finally got to get through the last Ronin book. Like, I got the book that's like, it's the whole series. And, me being the Ninja Turtle fan I am, I loved it.
Did you go see the new movie?
Yes, I have.
Was it good?
I enjoyed it.
Good, good.
I know it's now on digital. We talked about movies being on digital. That one is. I know that. I've actually had the pleasure of getting to meet the guy that voiced my favorite Ninja Turtle ever in the original cartoon. I actually got something autographed by him up behind me. Me, comic book nerdy, air quotes nerdy stuff. That's between that and wrestling. That's my nerdy thing. I nerd out like crazy about that stuff. Nice. Now, last but not least, best advice for anybody wanting to get into wrestling.
Do it. If you question if you want to do it or not, just go do it. It's one of the most rewarding things I've ever gotten to do. Made so many friends, made so many memories, have so many stories that I can't tell.
I've had some crazy stories with some people through wrestling that I've told some of them. Some of them I probably don't remember because I was probably a little inebriated at the time, but stuff happens. But yeah, it's great advice because you don't want to live life thinking back on things and being like, I wish I did that. You have a dream, go for it. And the thing that has come up a lot when I ask that question is people not realizing that there's more than just the in-ring aspect of the pro wrestling business. Like if you find out because of, nagging injuries that like maybe the in-ring side of stuff isn't for you, there's commentary, ring announcing, helping out with different aspects of the show that you're still production and all that. There's different aspects of the business that you can still be involved and not be like actively competing, taking bumps and putting your body at risk because people don't realize, there's that stigma, air quotes, fake. I like the term predetermined more than anything because the damage that you guys take in that ring, not really a way to fake that because I remember just doing a pro wrestling boot camp once and, we got to run the ropes. We got to take bumps in the ring. Simple falls in that ring hurt.
Oh, for sure. You never get used to it. Hurts every time.
I mean, I remember after that pro wrestling boot camp, I was walking funny for about a week.
Yeah.
So it was an experience I won't forget, always thinking, man, it would be cool to get in there and, doing this or that. And the boot camp ended up being, well, the place is since torn down, but it was at the hotel that I was put in the night before I left for Navy boot camp. Ooh. So it was like I left that hotel to go to one boot camp, and now I'm going back to that hotel to go to another one. It was a little funny memory of mine. But that is about all I have. I want to, before we go, where can people find you social media-wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on Mac, they can go ahead and get them there.
Yeah, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. For Facebook, you just go to Mac Wrestling. Twitter, it's at Big John McKenzie. And on what was it? TikTok, you can find me under LumberMack.
All right. Well, we will be sure to get all that in the description. But now I can hear my dogs kind of rumbling around up there. They're probably trying to get my attention. So probably need to start wrapping things up. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. And, best of luck out there with, that show in Illinois, Over the Top coming up. And, whatever you end up having coming up there for that Friday the 13th show for Magnum Wrestling.
I gotta thank you for having me on there, Mo. We should do this again someday.
Oh, most definitely. You're welcome back anytime.